The history of taxation. From ancient civilizations to First Nations systems. Let's take a journey through time, where it all began. Hello everyone and welcome to the Tax Gate. Hit the subscribe button and let's get started. Ancient Egypt, so many years before Common Era. Imagine a flourishing civilization, building monumental structures like the Great Pyramids. And here is the question. How did they fund such huge projects? And the answer is taxes. In Egypt, taxes were not collected in money. Instead, the people paid with what they had like grain, livestock, or even labor. Farmers would contribute a portion of their crops to fund the kingdom's needs. It wasn't just about collecting resources. It was about sustaining the empire's grandeur. Fast forward to ancient Mesopotamia. Here, we find the Sumerians creating some of the first recorded tax systems. Their taxes were also in kind, often collected in grain or other goods. The famous Code of Hammurabi, one of the oldest written laws, included provisions for tax collection. A vital tool for running the kingdom's military, infrastructure, and religious institutions. Taxes were integral to running these ancient cities. Whether it was for building ziggurats or feeding the military, taxes kept these societies functioning. Now let's head to ancient Greece, where taxes were a little different. In the democratic city-states like Athens, taxes were not just about supporting the government. They were about participating in society. Wealthy citizens were even expected to pay for public projects or serve in the military. Citizens paid their share through a variety of taxes, often depending on what they had to offer. Property taxes, taxes on trade, and sometimes taxes in the form of military service. In Athens, democracy came at a price, and that price was often paid in the form of taxes. Then came the mighty Roman Empire. The Romans perfected the art of taxation. They introduced capitation taxes, a tax for every head of a household, and customs duties for goods crossing borders. Taxes paid for everything from roads and aqueducts to Roman legions that protected the vast empire. It was a highly organized system. Fast forward to medieval Europe, under the feudal system. Here, taxes were different again. Imagine a time when kings and lords held the power. They collected taxes from peasants, often in the form of labor or a portion of the harvest. The peasants, bound to the land, would work for their lord in exchange for protection. The king would also impose taxes, like the Danegeld, which is a form of tax used to fund defense against Viking invasions. Taxes were not just for public works. They were a means of control. Now as we look east, we find the early Islamic empires. There was zakat, which is a form of a religious tax, a form of almsgiving that redistributed wealth and helped the less fortunate. These taxes helped fund military expansion, public works, and the social welfare system, ensuring that wealth was shared and poverty alleviated. Now, let's shift gears and turn to the indigenous peoples of North America. Unlike the European systems, taxes didn't exist in the same formalized way. Instead, there were systems of resource sharing and redistribution that focused on community welfare, not personal wealth. Among the Haudenosaunee, or Iroquois Confederacy, there was a deep respect for communal living. Leaders would ensure resources were shared equally among all members of the community, from food to labor. It was an exchange based on reciprocity. Every person's needs were met, and the community thrived together. On the Pacific coast, the potlatch ceremony was a form of wealth redistribution. Tribal leaders would give away or even destroy wealth in a grand display, not to show off, but to create balance, establish social status, and strengthen bonds within the community. While not taxes in the traditional sense, these systems worked to ensure that everyone in the community was taken care of and creating a society of balance and mutual support. But as Europeans began to colonize the Americas, the story of taxation changed for indigenous peoples. They were soon subjected to European tax systems. Today, taxation is an essential part of life in almost every country around the world. From ancient Egypt's tribute system to modern income taxes, the idea of taxing people to support government functions has shaped the world we live in. But the story of taxes is also the story of power. Who gets to collect them, and who is required to pay? While tax systems have evolved over time, they continue to serve as a means of organizing society, supporting infrastructure, and ensuring that resources are shared among all members of the community. From the first grain collected in Egypt to the modern tax systems we know today, taxes have always been about managing resources, balancing power, and ensuring the survival of societies. What started as a simple way to fund a kingdom has transformed into one of the most complex and crucial systems in our world. Like and subscribe if you would like to see more videos, and thanks for watching Tax.